Hey folks, welcome back to the Jim Handy channel. And if you're new here, thanks for stopping by to check out the video. Today we are going to be trying to facilitate a repair to a pressure washer. Let me show you what we're dealing with here. All right, so this is what we have. This is an AR Blue Clean 2050 Max PSI. It's an electric pressure washer. This actually belonged to my son and his fiance, and they pulled it out of their shed here recently with the intention of using it, and it would not work. So I brought it home and to take a look at it. The only thing that I've done at this point is I did hook a hose up to it, set it up as though I was going to actually use it myself, and there's power going to it. The power button here lights up green. It does have a GFCI that's here somewhere on the end of the cord, and check that out, that's all working fine. So it's getting power, and with the water hose hooked to it, and when you press the handle on the sprayer, water does come out, but the motor never kicks in. So I'm not really sure. I've never worked on a pressure washer before, so this is going to be a first. So this is either going to be helpful for someone else. It might have this particular brand and model of electric pressure washer, or if I don't fix it, maybe it'll at least be entertaining. So anyway, stick around. I'll bring you along, and we'll see if we can have some success trying to get this thing working again. All right, so first things first here. One of the things I noticed, this where this pressure hose screws on here, it's completely rusted. I can't get that off. So I have some of my trusty WD-40 rust release penetrant spray. This stuff is amazing. And we're just going to spray a little bit of this in there and let that sit for 15 or 20 minutes, and hopefully just realize I'm just about out of this. Anyway, we'll let that soak, and so that we can get the pressure hose off of it. I do want to do that, and then I'm probably going to start tearing into this thing right off the bat. So we'll uncoil the power cord, get all that out of our way, and we'll see what we need to do to be able to get in and look at the innards on this thing. All right, let's see here. Let's get this power cord out of the way here. All right, this is set for actually only about 5 minutes. Let's see if we can break it loose. There we go. All right, wires or something. I think this is, no, it's coming out. There we go. Okay. Now, get our pressure hose, set that aside. And our power cord is hardwired into the unit, so let's toss that there. See what we're dealing with here. I'm guessing screws are on the bottom. All right, so let's see what we can do here. Get some screws out of this thing. These are coming out pretty easily, actually. All right, let's see. Get rid of this little tank in the back. Let's get rid of some other little loose parts. Oh, let's see. I think don't know if you can see. I think there is a clip here. Ah, yes. Oh, this whole thing comes out. Oh, there we go. Well, we have all this assembly off of here. Let's see. We have those 8 screws out. Am I missing something? Oh, yes. 2 more screws right there. Now, just eyeball this thing and see if there's any more screws. I'm not seeing any more. Aha. So that whole bottom assembly just comes off. One of the things that I know that this has is a switch, and when you pull the handle on the sprayer, which lets the water flow through, it's supposed to activate a switch and ultimately turn the motor on. That's what gives you the high pressure. I guess one possibility is maybe something is restricting the flow, although when I was testing it with no power and pulling the trigger, I was getting what I felt like was an appropriate amount of water flow. I think what I'll do here, looks like there's 4 screws holding this piece of assembly here. So let's take those screws out. And I think this is a switch. All right. Let's see here. My instincts, again, tell me that this is our problem. Ah, there we go. Okay. So that just pops off there. Ah, we got a piece of tape here. Pull that off. Aha. So, okay. I think I found the problem already. So this is the switch. And what happens is when this thing gets pressure built up, this plunger pushes on this little green deal here, and then subsequently, which I believe was like that, the plunger comes in, pushes this green piece over, which slides just a little bit, and then subsequently pushes this button down right here, and it was stuck. Now, chances are the reason why that was the case, I had mentioned that this had been sitting up for a while. And in Florida, where I'm at, where we have long, hot, and very humid summers, as well as a lot of other southeastern U.S. states, things that are sitting in like sheds that are not climate controlled can develop problems like that. So I am thinking that that was all that's wrong with this. So I'm confident enough that I'm going to go ahead and button this back up, because now this little switch is operating really smooth now. And just one more time, again, this is the switch. You can see this little button that protrudes out. You get a screwdriver here. And when I first pushed on that, it would not go in. And it was like there was some crud built up. But now it seems to be activating okay. So I'm going to assume that's still possible that this switch could be bad. If it was all crusty, I don't know what it's like inside there. So, and these things, well, I could take it apart, but they're glued together. So I'm just going to put it back together and cross the fingers and see what happens. Water hose going here. Let me go turn some water on. Okay, so it is working, but I think we have the opposite issue now, and this switch is just stuck closed all the time. By my way of thinking, and based on every other electric pressure washer that I have seen, when you're not depressing the handle on the wand, the pump motor shouldn't be running. The pump motor is running all the time, and that doesn't seem right to me. And I haven't looked anything up to verify that, but again, I think maybe I need to do a little bit more due diligence on cleaning this switch, and probably this plunger that is here that activates the switch. I think I need to pull that out and clean it as well. So there we go. So I want to take this out. We've got the switch apart. I've actually sprayed I use this product, electronic cleaner, and I just sprayed it all down in there. That switch is working really good now. But my concern is this little piece right here. That does not seem to be moving or anything. I think it's maybe stuck on. It's hard to say. I don't know. Anyway, I am working on getting that out. I'm not sure what I'm getting myself into here. All right. Well, what I'm going to do is clean these pieces up here. This right here, I took them out and took it apart. There's a whole bunch of little intricate parts to it, rubber washers, brass washers, and so forth. But it was pretty gummed up, and there was no action in this piston here. So in any event, I took it apart, and now we're putting it back together. So I think we're going to be okay with this piece. We have our switch mechanism. I'm going to put a little bit of lubricant in here. This is white lithium grease. Let's get our screws back in this. All right, I think we got that seated. All right. Now, we got to deal with two issues here. One is this is leaking. And then on this, what I found out is there's an O-ring missing. So I'm going to clean this end up a bit. And I have an O-ring. We're going to put an O-ring on this piece right here. And that'll stop that leak over here. So let's clean these pieces up, and then we'll go from there. Let's see. It's going to be too small. That's too big. It's going to be just right. All right, well, let's give it a try. All right. Actually, let's put a little and all right. I'm wondering if I need another gasket on there. I'm thinking this thing may not be seating down far enough, but let's see. Let's try it. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. See if we can find another rubber gasket to slip in there. All right. Maybe with two gaskets. Oh, yeah. I think that's going to work. Okay. So we have fixed our leaks. We have no leaks. So putting that extra washer and the water hose side, the intake, took care of that. The little rubber O-ring took care of the leak there. Now I did turn it on just a second ago. It turns on and starts running. So we're going to give it a test here. Okay, so I have brought this unit inside the house just to try and escape the heat of outdoors. And what I'm going to be doing is removing this switch assembly that I just pointed to there, and that I'm pointing to again, as you can see. And we're going to pull that off. We're going to open that up, and there's a little micro switch inside that we're going to tear into. I have a suspicion at this point that that micro switch is just roached, and we're going to go in and first of all see if we can clean that micro switch, and if not, then we'll just have to get online and see if we can source a new one. So that's where we're at this point. All right, so I've got my little multimeter out here, and what I'm going to do before I open this micro switch up is just check for continuity between the two contacts that are on external to the switch itself. So I'm just setting my meter on ohms, and what I'm looking for is to see if I'm getting the correct kind of reading when the switch is in an open position versus a closed position, and that's all it's doing is opening and closing a contact. All right, so I've kind of messed around with this a bit, and I'm just getting inconsistent readings on my multimeter. Sometimes I'm getting what I think should be there, other times I'm not. So I think at this point, it's just time to open up the switch and see what it looks like inside. And I'm leaning more and more toward it's looking like we're going to need a new switch. Okay, so I'm in the process of actually separating the two halves to this micro switch so that I can get inside. Spoiler alert, I can tell you that once I got in there, it was all green. All the copper had turned green on it. It was just a lot of corrosion. I did use my electronic cleaner. I did use my electronic cleaner to try and clean it up, and I put it back together and I took it back outside, plugged it in. It still didn't work. So it stopped working altogether. So at that point, I just said, that's it. I've done enough troubleshooting. It's time for a new switch. So I'm going to jump ahead. I'll show you what it looked like inside, and then we'll jump ahead and I'll show you the process of installing the new switch. All right, I don't know how well that shows up, but you can see all this green crud. That is not good. Here are our new switches. Actually, they came two to a pack. And the one thing that I had to make sure of is that I ordered the correct type of switch. Now, you'll find these online at Amazon, and I'll put a link to this switch in the description as well, just in case you have one of these and you have the same problem and you need to try and fix it. But a lot of times you'll see these switches listed as microwave door switches. I couldn't find anything in the way of a switch like this, a micro switch they're called, specifically related to this unit, but it's a very common kind of micro switch used in a lot of different things. And this should be pretty much an exact match. We'll see here. All right. So yeah, I mean, these things are pretty much identical. The other thing with these switches is they come in two types, either normally open or normally closed. There are micro switches that have two spades coming out the bottom. One corresponds to the switch being normally open. One corresponds to the switch being normally closed. Well, what we want to do is have one that's normally closed so that the unit runs until you release the trigger, and then this plunger comes up, triggers the switch and puts it in a normally open position and cuts power. So when the switch is not activated, it's normally closed, and it's probably really hard to tell, but there's a little notation there that says NC, and with the spade coming out, and that stands for normally closed. All right, so what I'm going to do is start unsoldering this switch, and then we'll get ready to put the new switch in. All right, so I've got my soldering iron is all plugged in. I'm just waiting for that to heat up. I actually have a soldering iron kit. And this is something else that I'll put a link to down in the description in case you're interested in having something like this. One of the handy tools that comes with this kit is this little suction tool. So as I heat up the solder on this old switch, I can depress the plunger, and as it melts, then I can press this button, and it will suck that solder up in there, and it makes it easier to get these wires released from whatever they're soldered to. Okay. Let's see here. I don't think we're quite hot enough just yet. All right, there we go. Got that one loose. There we go. Okay. All right, so one of the things that I'm seeing here, my wires are a little bit bigger diameter than these holes. So I need to get a drill and very carefully enlarge these two holes. So let me do that. All right, let's see if we can very carefully enlarge these holes. Yes, hopefully that shows up. You can see the hole is definitely larger. Okay. Button this up, and when I've got it all back together, back outside, then we'll pick up from there and we'll see what happens. Okay, so we have it all hooked back up. We've got our water hose hooked up. We have our wand hooked up. It's plugged in, it's powered on, and I believe we're going to have some success. So what should happen when I pull the trigger, we should hear the pump motor turn on, and when I release the trigger, the pump motor should turn off. yes, that works like a champ. All right, I'm going to call that for the win. Okay, so there we go. We have our pressure washer all tidied up here, and everything's working perfectly on it, and ended up costing $5 and change. And actually that was for 2 micro switches. We only needed 1, but I could only find them sold in either pairs or some higher quantity. But no big deal. We have an extra if that switch goes bad again. And if there's anything likely to go bad in this unit, it's probably going to be that switch again. So we'll just tuck that away for safekeeping. And we'll get a lot of good use out of this. So a little perseverance, a little troubleshooting skill, and we've saved ourselves a lot of money and revived a really nice electric pressure washer here. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it useful. If you did, I'd greatly appreciate a thumbs up for the video. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. It's absolutely free. And with that, I hope everybody has a great day, great rest of the week, and we'll see you again on the next video.